guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends Series 2023 Spider-Man Retro Wave. Is it a Retro Wave? It's not really a Retro Wave. Two of the figures in the wave are on the true Toy Biz Retro Wave, but they did a redesign here with an updated Spider-Man logo. A really cool design in the back with these like bright blue webs with this purple, pink, like black, orange background. So it's pretty cool, but it's not really retro in my opinion. I got my set from toysnowman.com. Link in the video description below for my referral link, which will give you a 5% off coupon code for your Frost rewards. Toy Snowman is based in Canada, and they have everything for your action figure needs and collecting, whether it's Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe Classified, Power Rangers Lightning, Star Wars Black Series, but also McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse. They have all your import needs, Mafex, Mezco, Joy Toy, Warhammer, all that stuff you can get at toysnowman.com. So make sure to check them out and link in the video description below. Here we have a new Miles Morales. We don't get a lot of Miles Morales figures. There's some, but from a true comic Miles Morales, we really don't have very many. From a Marvel Legends line, I believe this is the only one that we got. Now, we did get a similar one to this as part of the Into the Spider-Verse, a Target exclusive 2-pack that wasn't really accurate to the movie, but had the design from the movie. It was a repaint of this. There was an older Walmart exclusive one that used an old body that was labeled as, Ultimate Spider-Man. It was Miles Morales. It was bigger, but wasn't a true Marvel Legends essentially. And then we got a couple of Gamerverse Marvel Legends Miles Morales figures. And then, of course, the Across the Spider-Verse, we got that Miles Morales. But a true comic Miles Morales, not very many of them. And this is really the only one here. So we will do a comparison, and I will see if the unmasked head sculpt works on this one here. So more Miles Morales. I'm good with that. But this suit's a little bit odd, and that's just going to be because of the comic design. Not sure what else Hasbro could have done here. It's just a very different take and design on him. I think we get a lot of new parts and pieces here, which is cool. It's just very different. We get tooth whip hands, which is nice, but no wall crawling hands, unfortunately. We get this artwork here on the side, which looks pretty good. And as you can see, Miles Morales Spider-Man. On the back of the package, the bio reads, "Bitten by a radioactive spider, Miles Morales discovers allies and enemies across the multiverse as Spider-Man." So interesting there. I think they kind of do a tie-in with build on the popularity of the movies. But here we have Miles Morales. Let's go ahead and rip this package open and get that figure out of the box. Okay, so here is the Miles Morales figure out of the package, and this is a weird one, man. I'll tell you, this sweater overlay here, it looks a little too baggy and a little too big for my liking. I'm not sure, again, how else they really could have done that, but it's just a little bit odd to me. The body that's underneath, so the torso, it has a diaphragm joint, and then the lower torso, there's no waist swivel on this guy, so he'll turn at that diaphragm and he'll have some tilt in there, but there's no ab crunch, so that's going to severely limit it. But at the same time, with the rubber overlay, there's no way you would have gotten a good ab crunch to really work in there. These legs are new. These hip pieces here might be, specific to Miles, but the rest of it is smooth, so they could probably reuse it. But then I got down to the ankles, these shoes, and then you could see that there's a little bit of separation there. So the ankle pegs in there, you get this swivel. So this may be one of those unique sculpts that don't get used like for anybody else, and it will just be used for Miles, which will be interesting. Again, we get thwip hands here, and there's just a little bit of black paint on them, but these look good. Let's go ahead and get in for a closer look at this Miles figure, because it's definitely a different design choice. So let's go and look. Okay, so here is the Miles Morales figure up close. You can see he has this mask portion here that's tied in the back. I don't know why he would need that. Is it just not a full face mask? It's just different, I guess. Red for the stripe along the side there. That I guess that kind of continues onto the hand, although it's smaller there. It is a single jointed elbow though, so that is a little disappointing, but again, if we got double jointed elbows with the puffy sleeves, it probably would have looked real ugly. So single is probably the way to go, because we do get a full 90-degree bend there, which is nice, and there's no bicep swivel or anything, but we do get a swivel at that elbow, so it's okay. The web pattern on the legs does look pretty good. There's like this V shape here. I'm not sure what that'd be, if that's maybe a pocket or something. And then we have these red shoes. As you can see, there's a little bit of a design, a little bit of treading on the bottom of them. We get a swivel right there at that calf. And then these legs go very thin. Not like across the Spider-Verse thin, but pretty thin. The spider logo on the back looks clean. The paint is applied very nicely on there. No issues with paint whatsoever here, other than, you know, a little spot of red there on the hand. But other than that, pretty good. Again, it's just a very different design choice for Miles. And I assume this is modern. I don't even know when this was from. But I feel like it must be a fairly recent thing, because like the Ben Reilly Spider-Man and the Chasm, those are super new. We're talking 2022 stuff, and you know, that's a pretty quick turnaround for Marvel Legends to do something from the comics, you know, that quick. So it could be, you know, within the last couple of years, this is how Miles looked. But you guys let me know down in the comments below if you know when this suit was from. Okay, articulation. So Miles, his head is on a dumbbell joint, so he can look up only that much. Unfortunately, he can look down that much. We do get some good pivot in the neck there because it is on the dumbbell joint. Full rotation, of course, if that's what you want to do. The shoulder can go straight on out and upwards a little bit. You get a full rotation in there. There is no butterfly joint or anything in there. Again, swivel at the elbow, single joint, so you get 90-degree bend at the elbow. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge, standard horizontal hinge on the fists and the thwip hands. I had mentioned before, there is a diaphragm cut under the shirt, so he can tilt to his left only so much. He can tilt to his right only so much. He can't really go back because the sweater is really going to stop that anyway, and come forward is only a little bit, but the sweater is really going to stop that anyway. There is the swivel at that diaphragm cut. The legs do not drop down or anything like that. You know what? There is actually more sculpted detail actually in there. And I didn't notice that at first, but where the red and the black meet, that's actually sculpted on there. Whereas on the lower legs, the line might be sculpted. So it's just kind of interesting design choice. Anyway, legs go out that far apart, which is good. He can kick forward that far, but is that a limitation with the leg, or is that hitting that's hitting the hoodie? So he can the sweater, he can kick forward that far. Doesn't really go back. You got an upper thigh cut in there, solid double jointed pinless knee there, like so. You get the calf swivel there right at the top of this boot. The hinge is difficult because the leg is so thin. As you can see, you can kind of bend it there and pull at that peg. So you want to hold the ankle, the ankle, and then hinge the foot. So you can hinge down. Let's see, I gotta hinge it back, was kind of difficult. Hinge up a little bit, as you can see, ankle pivot, pickles at the bottom of the feet. But again, it's just difficult to design when it's thin and it pegs in there. So be careful when trying to hinge these feet. So there is the articulation. Not as much as we want for a Spider-Man, but given the design, I think this is the best that they could really do. So the next clip was going to be checking out Miles Morales' head on this body, but no, that's not going to work. That ball peg is way too big for this head sculpt. So maybe if you Dremel out quite a bit of the inside there, you would be able to get this to work, but that is not going to work. And as you can see, the neck is quite large. The head itself, I think it would look a little too funky on there. So unfortunately, that is not going to work. We do not have a good unmasked Miles Morales to work for that. Okay, so scratch that. We have a head that could work. The Game Reverse Miles Morales head sculpt that was not accurate to the game at all, in my opinion, does pop on there, but does not look good. As you can see, he has a crazy-ass, long, thick neck. It just doesn't work, unfortunately. Okay, so here's some of our various Marvel Legends figures. So here's the one in that Venom Space Venom Build-A-Figure wave, our newest Miles Morales, the Across the Spider-Verse Miles Morales, there he goes, and the newest Gamerverse Miles Morales figure. All very different designs, as you can see, but all do share the same black and red. This one, it's an interesting one. I'm just not a fan of the sweater design. I think comic book on artwork, it works. For action figures, I don't think it works too well, because it's just always going to look a little too baggy, because that's just the nature of using rubber and things like that. Soft goods will probably end up looking a little bit better, but you know, Hasbro doesn't do that, which is unfortunate. So there we have it. Okay, so here we have the other figures in the wave that I have reviewed so far. The Ben Reilly Spider-Man, the Chasm, which is another Ben Reilly, and here Miles Morales Spider-Man, here in the middle. You guys let me know down in the comments below. What do you think of this wave so far? What do you think of this Miles Morales figure? Do you agree that we just don't have enough Miles Morales figures? But this design is just, it's not the greatest when it translates into action figure form. You guys let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on that. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that join button to become a channel member and be a part of the MCU collective and show support for the channel. I truly appreciate it, and as always, thank you for watching.